Hey guys, it's Alex Serpentine back again with another video about my roles or soul type series from the Michael teaching system. If you don't know what the roles are, they're basically soul types or vehicles of consciousness that we take on for our whole reincarnation cycle as we're going through different lessons in our reincarnation cycle and learning different things through the soul ages. So these are actually the most primary personality types of any system to pay attention to because this stays the same for your whole cycle. You're going to have these characteristics the whole time, not just for one life. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the priest role. I'm going to talk about some of the key characteristics, some strengths and weaknesses, and I'm also going to talk about how it relates to other personality type systems and other archetypes. So let's get into it. So overview, the priest is driven by a desire to inspire, uplift, and guide others toward a higher purpose and growth. They focus on spiritual leadership, motivation, and healing. They seek to bring about transformation in alignment with higher ideals. Their archetypal energy is that they represent the archetype of the visionary, healer, and spiritual guide. They embody qualities of passion, inspiration, and moral conviction, and they're energized by helping others connect to their deeper purpose and potential. So here's a list of all the roles and the percentage of the population. Priests are 8%. It's one of the more rare types uh, because it's one of the cardinal types or exalted types. So they deal with groups. They deal with many other people. So you don't actually need as many of them in the population. I was going to say earlier, I have a test that you can take to figure out your role, to figure out which of these 7 roles is your primary, secondary, and tertiary, and it's in the description of this video, so you can check that out. So they're the second rarest role besides the king, and they're on the inspiration axis along with the server. Their primary motivations are that they're driven to inspire and guide others toward personal and spiritual growth. They seek to uplift and align people with their higher purpose. They're motivated by a desire to bring about positive transformation and healing. Their key traits are that they're passionate and enthusiastic with a strong sense of mission. They're charismatic and persuasive, capable of motivating and leading others. They're empathetic and intuitive, often sensing others' needs and potentials. Visionary, focuses on the big picture and higher ideals. So in the positive pole for the priest, they're focused on compassion. They guide and inspire others with empathy, understanding, and a genuine desire to uplift. And then negative pole, they demonstrate zeal, where they become overly intense or forceful in pushing beliefs or ideals, disregarding others' perspectives. Some of their strengths are that they're highly inspirational and motivating, able to ignite passion in others. They have strong intuitive abilities, deeply understands others' emotions and needs. They're excellent at providing spiritual guidance and support, and they have visionary thinking focused on growth and transformation. Some of the challenges, they can be overly zealous or pushy in pursuing their vision. They may struggle with grounding and practicality, focusing too much on ideals, and they tend to become frustrated if others do not follow their guidance or path. Their growth focus is to ground ideals, balance the high ideals they have with practical steps for implementation. They need to practice patience, allowing others to find their own path and timing for growth. And they need to stay humble, remaining open to feedback and shared leadership. Their spiritual path is to cultivate inner stillness, practice meditation to connect with deeper spiritual wisdom, balance passion with compassion, focusing on serving others with humility and love. They can engage in reflective practices, journaling, or contemplation to deepen self-awareness. And they can seek grounding activities, incorporating practices that bring balance and calm to intense energy. And they can foster inclusivity, embrace diverse spiritual paths and perspectives to broaden understanding. Their interaction style is that they're inspirational and encouraging, motivating others to reach their full potential. They're empathetic, deeply tuned to the emotions and needs of others. They're guiding. They take on a mentor-like role, offering advice and spiritual insights. They're passionate, communicating with intensity and conviction. They're visionary, focusing on the bigger picture, steering conversations toward growth and purpose. So when we're talking about their interaction and compatibility with the other roles, here's some little notes on each. With servers, they're the most compatible because they're both the inspirational roles in search of an ideal or cause. With artisans, they're both the high frequency roles, so they share vision and imagination. With warriors, the warriors can bring the strength which supports priest's vision. With scholars, it works well if the priest is intellectual and shares the scholar's values. With sages, they're both highly charismatic, bright, and quick witted. With other priests, they have a shared mission and passion for uplifting others. And with kings, they're both leadership types. And they work best with separate spheres of responsibility. So the expression of the priest can change across the soul ages. So as we're focusing on different lessons in our reincarnational cycle, there can be a different kind of focus and a way it's expressed as the role is in these different soul ages. So as an infant soul, which is a survival focus, they offer basic spiritual comfort and reassurance in simple forms. As a baby soul, in the structure focus, they provide guidance within structured traditional religious frameworks. As a young soul, the achievement focus, they inspire others through dynamic leadership and personal charisma. As a mature soul, the relationship focus, they focus on emotional healing and deeper spiritual connections. And as an old soul, the context focus, they guide with profound spiritual wisdom, promoting universal truths and enlightenment. So in work and career settings, they're attracted to certain things. They really like spiritual leadership, where they thrive as ministers, counselors, or spiritual guides. They like teaching and mentorship. They excel in roles that involve guiding and inspiring growth. They're attracted to the healing professions. They find fulfillment as therapists, healers, or social workers. They like motivational speaking, so they engage in public speaking, inspiring and uplifting audiences. And they also like nonprofit and advocacy, driven to work and causes that align with their higher ideals. What I notice also for like more of the thinking type of priest, they really like getting into like inventing things. It's something else they might like, or like teaching, like I said before here. In family and community settings, they're usually a guiding presence. They act as a mentor, providing spiritual and moral guidance. They're inspirational leaders, motivating family and community towards positive growth. They're empathetic listeners, offering deep understanding and support in emotional matters. They're a catalyst for change, encouraging transformation and development in others. They have a moral compass, which helps navigate ethical and spiritual dilemmas within the group. As a leader, they're visionary leaders. They guide with a clear vision and a focus on higher purpose. They have an inspirational style, motivating others through passion and emotional connection. They have empathetic guidance, understands team needs, and fosters a supportive environment. They're transformative, drives positive change and personal growth in others, and they lead by example, embodying the values and ideals they advocate. A historical example of the priest is Mahatma Gandhi, who guided India's movement for independence with the focus on nonviolence and spiritual principles. They inspired millions with his vision of peace, justice, and ethical living, and he demonstrated compassion, leading others towards greater moral awareness. What's interesting about Mahatma Gandhi is he was actually old soul level 7. So what happened with him is what they say in the Michael teachings is that he actually experienced a walk-in where in the last few months of his life a whole group of souls that were merged together in unity were working through him and establishing and doing the things that he ended up doing. So because he's a priest, that can happen sometimes, and it's kind of needed in certain moments for big social change. So he's a really core, like, important priest example of the priest archetype. A fictional example of the priest is Morpheus from The Matrix. He guides and inspires others to awaken to their true potential and purpose. He's a visionary leader who motivates his followers to fight for freedom and truth. And he provides spiritual and moral support, encouraging belief in the greater cause. Some other priests are Helena Blavatsky, Edgar Cayce, Aleister Crowley, Wayne Dyer, Bob Dylan, Pope Francis, St. Francis of Assisi, Sigmund Freud, Carl Jung, Byron Katie, Martin Luther King Jr., John Lennon, Freddie Mercury, Barack Obama, Bernie Sanders, Alan Watts, and Paramahansa Yogananda. So you see there's a lot of spiritual energy there. Some therapists, some creative people, musicians and stuff are all priests. So in the Michael teachings, you actually have a combination of different roles. So you have a primary role, but then you're going to have some secondary and tertiary influences as well. So we're actually a unique mix of all these different roles instead of just being one role. So this slide has some examples of how these would manifest with combinations with other roles. So as a priest server, it adds a nurturing approach where it combines spiritual guidance with compassionate care. For priest artisan, infuses creativity into teaching, uses artistic methods to inspire and uplift. Priest warrior combines passion with strength, leads with both vision and assertiveness. Priest scholar enhances depth of knowledge, guides with a blend of wisdom and insight. Priest sage amplifies charisma, using storytelling and expression to inspire others. And priest king strengthens leadership, combines vision with strategic direction and authority. So now we'll get into some of the other personality type systems and how they correlate with the Michael teachings rules. This slide talks about the cognitive functions from MBTI. Priests can be really in touch with extroverted feeling, which is focused on inspiring and connecting emotionally with others. They also might have introverted intuition, which seeks deeper meaning and future-oriented vision. They might also like extroverted intuition, which explores possibilities and encourages growth and transformation. And they'll also like introverted feeling, which is guided by strong inner values and personal convictions. So basically, what we could say is that they're likely to be an NF. And if you look here, there's some NFs here. But they also sometimes are like NTs. So they definitely emphasize intuition and feeling mainly, but can be thinking sometimes. So ENFJ is actually the most likely MBTI type to align with the priest. They're charismatic, empathetic, and driven to inspire others towards growth. INFJ is really similar, same functions: introverted intuition, extroverted feeling, visionary, insightful, with a strong sense of purpose and guidance. ENTJs, which has extroverted thinking and introverted intuition, focus on leading others towards a strategic vision and growth. INTJ, similar thing: introverted intuition, extroverted thinking, strategic, future-oriented, driven by a visionary goal. And they can also be INFPs, maybe especially during the mature soul age, level 3 especially. They're idealistic, values-driven, seek to guide others through spiritual or personal growth. Some likely Enneagram types for the priest. The type 1, the reformer, is deeply aligned with the priest. My dad was a priest, and he was an Enneagram 1, so I can see the correlation pretty clearly. They're driven by a sense of mission and a desire to improve the world. They also might be a type 2, the helper, which is compassionate and focused on uplifting and supporting others. Type 4 is also big in being in touch with their emotions and intuition, the individualist. They're deep, intuitive, and motivated by a desire to express a unique vision. They can also be the type 8, the challenger, assertive, passionate, and lead with strength and conviction. So some zodiac signs that really align with the priest are Sagittarius, which is philosophical, visionary, driven by a quest for higher meaning. Pisces is compassionate, intuitive, seeks to inspire and heal others. Leo, which is charismatic, confident, naturally drawn to leadership and guiding others. And Scorpio, which is intense, passionate, and focused on transformation and deep emotional impact. If you don't know your zodiac signs in your chart, I would look at Vedic astrology and not Western astrology, because Vedic astrology is accurate to the constellations. It's astronomically accurate. And Western astrology was astronomically accurate when it was first created, but that was 2,000 years ago. And because of the precession, it's gone more and more out of touch with where the constellations actually are in our sky. So I definitely would recommend checking out Vedic astrology and looking at your rising sign or ascendant, moon, and sun signs. So some of the likely aura colors for the priest, which is this system is presented by Pam Osley. She has a book called Life Colors that goes into this stuff. The violet aura is really the most aligned with the priest. It's spiritual, visionary, and focused on inspiring and uplifting others. Also, blue can be aligned, which is more compassionate, nurturing, and motivated by a desire to help and heal. Indigo, which is one of the new rare types, but one of the newer ones arriving on the scene today. They're intuitive, deeply connected to spiritual insight and higher purpose. And one of the more flavor kind of auras, and not primary auras, is lavender, which is imaginative, sensitive, and drawn to spiritual and mystical pursuits. So some reflective questions you can ask yourself to see if you might be a priest. If you say yes to all these, you might be a priest. Do you feel a strong calling to inspire and guide others towards growth? Are you naturally empathetic, often sensing others' needs and potential? Do you thrive when leading others toward a higher purpose or vision? Do you often struggle balancing your ideals with practical steps and grounded action? Are you driven by a desire to uplift and transform the lives of those around you? If you said yes to all these, you're probably a priest or have some priest secondaries. And like I said earlier, if you haven't taken my roles test, which is in the description of this video, that'll help you figure out your primary, secondary, and tertiary roles. So in summary, the core role for the priest is that they're focused on inspiring, guiding, and uplifting others. Their strengths are that they're charismatic, intuitive, and deeply empathetic, driven by vision and higher purpose. Their challenges are that they can be overly zealous, needing to balance between ideals and practicality. Growth focus for them is developing patience, staying grounded, and embracing collaboration. And their spiritual path is to use empathy and vision to guide others towards spiritual and personal growth. So that's everything I wanted to say in this video for the priest. If you want to learn more about the roles, especially the priest or any of the roles, I recommend this book, 7 Personality Types by Elizabeth Puttick. It's the best one I found that goes the most in depth to each of the roles. And also, like I said, you could take the test to figure out the roles if you haven't done that already. It's in the description of this video. And I have videos for each of the other roles that you can go check out. But that's about it that I wanted to share for this video. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.